what I call the best of the best. And this is a sale price. It's a big hot pick. This is the top of the line. You know why? Because it's called the Reserve. This is the Filet Mignon Reserve. We'll explain that to you in a moment. It also comes with a wonderful garlic and herb butter. It comes with the seasoning packets you expect from the steaks. I'm going to bring Sharon in on this one in just a few minutes because I know she's like a steak connoisseur. And so this is from Rastelli's. You know, when it comes to Ray Rastelli here, I call him America's Butcher. This is a gentleman who's been in the meat business for more than 40 years. And the fact is he knows meat unlike anybody else I know. But it's not only that, it's that you bring us all different levels of different kinds of meat.
Yes, and you know, Mary Beth, I brought you the very, very best. This is the creme de la creme. It's the filet mignon. It's that piece of steak that's never going to disappoint, ever. It's going to be tender, it's going to be juicy, it's going to be really, really flavorful. You're also getting the seasoning packet with it, and of course our garlic herb butter, and I'll explain to you how I like to use that. But this is part of our reserve collection, and that means something very special, Mary Beth. What that means is less than 4% of all cattle here in the United States qualify for this. So this is typically reserved for the finest steakhouses in the country, and we sell many of them. Other than that, we really, really put them aside for our QVC guests. But I want to take you to the meat block, right? Because that's really where I think it's the rubber meets the road, so to speak, right? Because it's all about where the meat comes from. For 48 years, I've entrusted these beautiful farmers that I've worked with who really understand how to raise a great steer. Black Angus cattle. So when we get these beautiful tenderloins in, this is what a whole filet mignon looks like. Now, what I want you to notice, there is no fat on this at all. And the reason, Mary Beth, we've taken every ounce of fat off, we've taken the nerves off, we've taken silver off, we've taken everything off, but we've aged it for 45 days. Now, why 45 days? Because 45 days is the optimum aging to get the very, very best, the most tender. And then here's how we cut it. You do not get the tail. We set that aside. Many of you
we call the wonderful tips.
Yes, many of you buy our medallions, and this is what we get 2 steaks that actually qualify for those medallions, and that's something. But this is that beautiful center cut 5-ounce filet. And what I want you to see in this filet is the marbling.
Look at that.
That's what I call meat candy. When you see this kind of marbling inside a filet mignon, you know that you have got a tenderloin, a filet mignon. It's going to be buttery. It's going to be soft. It's going to be so tender. And there is 0 fat on this, as you can see. From one end to the other, you're going to eat, and every one is center cut.
I can tell you right now, these, because it's reserved, because it's the filet mignon, if you've had these before at QVC from Rastelli's, give us a call on our testimonial line, 1-800-395-1601. These normally price at $24 each at retail. $24 each. This is the best meat. You know, it's like sometimes I say, you may not eat beef every day. You may not even eat it every week. But when you eat it, you want the best. And that's the key. Save it for the best. And if you want something that you can throw on the grill, or a George Foreman grill indoors, or a grill outdoors, or however you want to cook it. A lot of people actually cook steaks in their air fryers.
Yes.
Some people do the steaks in the oven, or they start them, you know, like on the stovetop, then go to the oven. These are tender, exceptionally tender, exceptionally flavorful, and just as like melt in your mouth kind of butter meat.
So soft that you can cut right through it with a fork, right?
Wow.
So let me explain to you what I do with the butter. So what I do is if I'm going to grill a steak like this, whether it's in my skillet or whether on my grill, I finish the steak about 90% of the way through, and then I just put my garlic herb finishing butter on top. This is the result. So you know when you go to a great steakhouse and you say, oh my God, they're always so buttery, they taste so incredible.
Yeah.
This is the reason why, because if you start with the very, very best, and then you finished with this garlic herb butter, which is real butter, some roasted garlic, and different herbs, salt, black pepper, you're gonna get a steak that you've we're used to eating at a steakhouse, and you wonder why you
Yes.
can't do it at home. Now you can actually do it right at home.
And you can do it in the comfort of your own home, as simply as can be. And you know what else about filet mignon? It's such a lean piece of meat, and yet it's so tender, so juicy, so flavorful. However, you know, a lot of times people say, well, I like my meat well done, or I like it, you know, medium well, you know, kind of thing. What happens with a lot of poor steaks is you cook
can't.
it past
That's-
medium, and you're looking at a piece of rubber.
That's
You know what I
right.
mean?
That's exactly
With
right.
filet mignon like this, when you cook it to medium well or well done, you still have flavorful, juicy, tender meat. That's the difference. Let's show the farms.
So this
that these come
and this
from.
is really where it all starts, Mary Beth, on the farms. That happens to be my farm in that picture. And you know, working with farmers is what's so critical. Knowing we're getting the very, very best, knowing that who the farmers are and what their families stand for, the trust that I have in them is the same trust that our guests have had in me as a butcher for the last 48 years. They make sure that all of our quality of our steers are there, that they're raised wholesomely, they're in beautiful pastures, and of
Yeah.
course, when I can trust the farmer, that
Yeah.
means you can trust the butcher. And
That's
it's
right.
as simple as that.
And like you said, you've been working with these farmers for 48 years.
That's right.
I mean, that's almost half a century. I hate to
That's-
bring it up, but you know what I mean? It's true. There is that piece. You can see how tender, how flavorful it is.
It's like it melts in your mouth.
That's when you know everybody at the table's quiet. They're all enjoying their meat and their meal. And then all of a sudden it's like, you don't have to be talking the whole time. Let's just be quiet and enjoy it, right?
So true. And because this filet mignon, you mentioned a point. How can a filet mignon that is so lean, right? There's no fat. So we're going to eat from end to end. How can it be so tender? Well, it happens to be that piece of the steer that really doesn't do anything. David says all the time, well, it's just going along for the ride. And it sort of is, just going along for the ride. So every bite, I will guarantee tender. You can trust your butcher on this steak, and every one of them will be juicy, will be flavorful. And it's not just as a steak. I've done them here on bruschetta. If you want to make a filet mignon salad, think about what a filet mignon salad would look like and how good that would be. I mean, it's so easy.
Amazing. I'm going to just take this and show you. Look at this butter. And that's what you're putting on the steak. The steak is already warm at that point, or hot, but it's still going down into the steak. If you want to spread that butter on a little crostini,
There you
look
go.
at you
Yes.
going.
You know, this is the easiest way for me to make garlic toast.
Yes,
Right? I just take
'cause
that
it's garlic
right
and
on-
herb.
It's garlic and herb, and I toast that, and I will tell you, this, along with that steak, it just doesn't get any better than
Yeah,
that.
that's amazing. Okay, here's what you're getting. I just have to remind you, this is a total of 10 of these reserve filet mignons with the garlic and herb butter. This is something that you wait for Ray to bring back to QVC. Reserve is bringing you only 4% of the cattle in the United States are good enough to be in this class. And that's the key, is that it really is the best of the best, the top of the line. You can put this on auto delivery where they come every 60 days. You are at a special sale price. Now, by the way, all 10 of these normally are $185. Now that's at QVC. At retail, it'd be $240 for 10 of these. $240, $24 each. You know why the steakhouses say to you, it says, you know, filet mignon, $48.95.
Or market price.
Market price. The fact is that the little bit of asparagus and mashed potatoes they throw on the plate are not expensive. It's all about the meat. You're getting, for this meat, getting a price of basically less than $16 each. They're normally $24 each. Even at QVC in regular price, they would be $18 each. It's a sale price, and if you want to go on auto delivery, you can do that. Go back to why these are considered reserve. What makes these special? I'm going to have you cut another, you know, fresh one, raw one.
So really, if I'm gonna cut a piece of steak for you
Yeah.
to actually eat right
Yeah.
there, while I
Love
go over
that.
to the block, because I want you to see what makes a filet mignon so
It
special.
melts in your mouth.
Right? If you think about this, this is a filet mignon that's been aged for 45 days, right? Black Angus though, not any, but it's also the very, very top. It's the reserve. Only 4% of all cattle actually make this quality. But this is what you get. If you look at the marbling inside of this filet mignon, this is what makes it so special. This is what great chefs around the country look for.
Yeah.
When they call me and they say, Ray, I need a reserve filet mignon, I need the very best, this is what they get. The same thing you're getting at home. Each one is individually vacuum packed, so you can leave them in your freezer for up to 12 months. But this marbling is what makes this filet mignon the most special.
Look at this. Okay, guess what? We've got Cheryl from Georgia here on the line. She wants to say hi to Ray because when we call him America's Butcher, she's Cheryl's butcher too.
Hi,
she
Cheryl.
really is. Hi, Cheryl.
Hi,
Good
Mr.
morning.
Rastelli.
Hi, how are you?
I just wanted you to know that I have nothing but Rastelli meats in my freezer, and it is jam-packed.
Why is that?
These filet mignons, I just finished my last auto delivery about 2 weeks ago on these. These are the best of the best. I
Yeah.
call these the creme de la creme
Yeah.
Yes.
of steaks. I
That's right.
highly recommend you order these. They'll sell out fast, and they are the best of the best.
It's so true.
Cheryl,
Don't you find that when you're going to eat beef and eat steak, you want the best?
Absolutely, and we've given them away, and people would die for these.
That's wonderful to hear, Cheryl. And you know, the folks that come into Butcher Shop, that's the same way they feel. So to be able to be where you are in Georgia and still let me be your butcher, I can't tell you how proud I am of that. So thank you so much.
You're my only meat man. I have nothing but your meat, hot dogs, everything in my freezer.
Well, thank you so much, Cheryl.
We're going to start calling him the meat man. I like that.
Absolutely. He is America's meat man.
He is. Well, I'll tell you what, thank you so much, Cheryl, for calling in. I love that you called in and took the time to say hi. And like you
Yes.
said, such a pleasure, I'm sure, for Ray to talk to you and you
Absolutely.
to talk to him.
So much. Thank you so much, Cheryl.
Thank y'all, and God bless from Georgia.
God bless.
God bless you too. Take care. Bye-bye. How does that make you feel after 48 years of hard work?
You know, that's why I do it every day for people like Cheryl who feed their family and they want the best. Nothing makes me feel better.
Yeah,
Really.
exactly.
So.
It's like when they walk into your market and they just say, Ray, that was the best steak I ever had. I'm back for more. It's like,